I'm Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today we have the best autism advocates in the nation. Here with us, we have Diane and Marianne Young. Our heroes, our local heroes. You all work so very hard with all of the children and the families. And this year we missed your gala. I had so many other irons in the fire. I was deeply saddened by that, but was on travel and some other things. But I know that it was a success.
It was.
It's going to get bigger and better.
Yeah.
And you are still in the schools, in the communities, doing what you do. And it's probably not enough of us that thank you all for what you do, for all the children. See, that's what I like about you all. You all are ready, willing, and able to serve all the children. So the gala this year, was it a big financial success?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the best one yet. And everyone had an absolute blast. They really, really did.
I saw the pictures, and everybody was fabulous, and all of the special photos and everything.
What was that called, that mirror?
Happy Heart Mirror.
Happy
Heart Mirror.
Oh, that just, everyone so enjoyed that.
Yes,
You
you
know,
had a lot of pictures on social media with
Yes,
that. Yes, yeah. So what that enables you to do is what? When you have that, it's a fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser. Well, because, you know, a lot of people don't realize that we don't charge for what we do. And so the fundraisers are what keep us going.
Right.
Pay our rent, pay for, you know, when we have these socials, we don't charge the parents or the kids, you know, so we're providing all the refreshments and, you know, if we need a Wii U, you know,
Right.
we have to get it. Because our kids expect to have...
Yeah, and they want to be entertained,
you know,
and you want them to engage like all the other children.
Exactly. So all of that costs money. And, you know, as we expand, you know, we also need money to be able to do that. And we actually announced at the gala that we're going to be taking applications for our teen and young adult transition program.
Okay, and what is that?
So, you know, a lot of the kiddos in high school, unless they're very lucky and they get into something like the Project Search at
TSIS with Pino.
Which is a fabulous program.
It is.
But it can only take so few.
Right.
And there's so many kids with autism and intellectual disabilities. And so they need additional help, even though they would be very capable of doing a job, often where they fail is the water fountain.
Really?
Because they don't have the social skills
Okay.
to be able to talk about, you know, what was on TV last night, or the
Exactly.
football game that everyone's talking about.
That social interaction.
Yes,
right.
yes,
But
yes.
they can do the task.
Yes.
Right.
And so that can lead to some problems in the workplace. So in order to be able to be out there supporting themselves, which is what they want, they need additional help in the social skills, the life skills, the resume, job training, job coaching, and all that sort of thing. And so when we first started, it was all little kids.
Right, and now they've grown up.
Now they've grown up.
Oh my.
But the state really hasn't sort of realized that.
It didn't grow with the children.
Yes.
Right.
So the one thing that we just really don't want to happen is for our kiddos to graduate to the couch.
Right, and that's where life stops.
Yes.
You want them to continue to flourish.
Yes, yes. So we're starting this new program, and we're really, you know, wanting to expand, and you know, we're excited about it. And
A lot of young adults
Yes.
become productive, tax-paying citizens.
yes.
Exactly, and they're
Yes.
contributing.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. I did talk to Pino about her project.
Yeah.
And just really just celebrated the young people that some were hired by TSIS, some went other places. And that's really what we want.
Yeah.
And so this is your baby, your board, your volunteers, and you're just picking up the baton because, like you said, the state kind of stopped.
Right.
And so you all know and understand because you both have children.
Right.
And you're pushing forward.
Right.
To make sure
Right.
they're not couch potatoes.
Yes.
Right.
And if you can find the right job for them, they can do it better than anybody else.
Oh, sure, they're fully committed.
They're-
you see
and they're
at Publix, you
Right.
see at Walmart, you
Right.
see There's someone I've seen at one of the fast food restaurants. I mean, everything is just so perfect because they take so much pride.
Right.
Yes.
And they're hyper-focused. And they're not worried about calling their friends or texting and all that stuff. You know.
Taking selfies all day, like 500 selfies.
Yeah. So you can actually get more out of them.
Right, right. And so every month you all have activities for the various age groups. And like Diane said, it's free. Okay, so what are those age groups again?
So we have the young adult and teen social at the Tech. And
At Columbus Tech?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And they've been doing it for a number of years. They're really great friends, but they could always use some more.
Right.
And we have a tween social as well. So for, say, 5th grade through 8th or early 9th, depending on how, how socially developed they are.
Right.
And then we also do support group meeting for the parents.
And when you have a support group meeting, if I recall, the babysitting is free.
Yes.
That is so important
Yes.
because
Yes.
people might not have resources, and
Exactly.
so then they don't participate.
Or they can't find anyone that's prepared to watch their child, especially if they have behaviors, and that was really why we started doing it. And so, sometimes the support groups will be just sharing amongst, one parent to another. It can be a training, or it can just be a talk or a presentation. Marianne was last month.
Oh, Marianne.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A subject matter expert.
Yes.
And so what did you share with the parents?
This most recent training, I did it on extended school year services. So getting additional help from the school district in the summer or after school.
And that's very important because they go to school and then they need, like with the other students, they need things after school as well.
Correct.
Because most of the parents are working parents.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and so you've identified some resources that...
So, well, extended school year, a lot of kids or parents are told that their children don't qualify, but there's a lot of factors that go into that, and sometimes as we've learned, that the school district personnel don't always know all those, the minutia of it.
Right.
And so we want parents to understand all the qualifying factors so that they can get additional help if needed.
Well,
so they lose skills through the summer.
right, because they're not engaged.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that we're not losing progress. We're just going forward.
Right.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is take our first break, go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Chalk by Quincy introduces Excellence Redefined, timepieces of the finest technology, luxury, and class with tons of style at chalklifestyle.com. Renal Associates LLC, a team of physicians dedicated to excellent kidney care with 5 convenient locations to serve you: Stark Avenue, Columbus; Bradley Park Drive, Columbus; Lafayette Parkway, LaGrange; West Washington Street, Eufaula; and Spring Street in Warm Springs. Vanessa Jackson's District 3 Successful Scholars Program, supporting students in achieving academic excellence, outstanding citizenship, positive social and cultural growth, believing in success for kids. Dr. Sheikha Shaw Family Medicine, connecting your health to your future. Dr. Shaw prides herself in providing compassionate health care and establishing long-lasting relationships. Conveniently located at 2827 Warm Springs Road, Suite 3B. Call her today at 706-324-4177.
Walmart's reason for supporting Thurgood Marshall College Fund is simple. We like to win. And we have been given a lot of exposure to some incredible talent. And we also believe that it's a part of our responsibility to the community to give back. This is a great opportunity to do both. It's been a wonderful experience for us through the years. We've appreciated our partnership. We believe in return on investment, and we have definitely had a remarkable return.
History is important because it shows where you're coming from and where you're going. Type 2 diabetes is something that runs in my family, which means I'm at risk. In fact, 1 in 3 American adults are at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. And knowing this, if I do nothing, that family history becomes my family's future. And my family is too important to me for that. Take the risk factor assessment today at AskScreenNo.com.
And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing this great conversation with the best autism advocates in the nation, Diane Pope and Marianne Young. So we've had our first report card.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. So that can either be a happy day or a sad day, regardless,
Yes.
whether the children are on the spectrum or not.
Right.
Because we are always looking for progress. And small steps are just as important as large steps.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we've had one report card.
Yes.
Okay. And so what about IEPs and all of that this year? I know you all assist parents with all of that.
It's one step at a time with the whole thing, but small progress is still progress, and that's what you want to see. As long as you're seeing that the child is moving forward, then that's all you need. But you should see documentation. You should, not just be told to take somebody's word. Oh, they're doing good, Mom.
Right.
No, they should be able to produce data and work samples.
And work samples. See, I like that. So you want to follow during the grading period.
Exactly.
Not wait until the end.
Exactly.
And then we have conversations that might not always be pleasant.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
you are encouraging parents to stay engaged on a weekly basis, and that's a good way to measure.
Absolutely.
Because if the baby usually won't sit still for 5 minutes, and then he's sitting still for 10, that's great.
Yes.
That's progress. And so we
Right.
need to
Right.
celebrate those
Exactly.
small victories. Yeah. So your son is college graduate.
No, he didn't graduate yet.
But he attended.
He's still at school. We're
Really?
still waiting for the graduation.
But he's there.
Yeah, he
Yes.
is, he
But he's
is.
driving a car.
He has a truck, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the other big celebration.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he was very discouraged when it came time to learn to drive because he just wasn't getting it.
Really?
Yeah, I sent him to the driver's ed at CSU, and the instructor called me and said, Miss Pope, he's going to need extra actual driving. I said, okay, after he'd almost killed me on the way home. But so he was encouraged because he actually got on, and this is what the higher functioning kiddos do. They get onto these websites, and there's lots of other people that have similar issues on them. He gets onto the Asperger websites, and he found out that it was very common
Really?
to have difficulty learning to drive, yeah. And so he felt better about himself because so much of it is the confidence.
I'm just stunned. He got on the computer, on the website. This is where that brilliance, the part that we don't all process, to research, to find other individuals
Right.
that had some of those same
Right.
challenges.
Right.
He did it independently.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And now he's driving.
He's been driving. It took me an entire year. I would pick him up from school every day, and we would drive wherever, he would drive wherever we were going. And we had some close calls, but he made it.
And you're very patient, because it's hard to even just teach driving, period, to
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
Right. And so he took the regular driving
Yep,
test.
he did, and he was then able to drive himself to college, and so that's what made the difference for him.
Isn't
that he
that
could do
something?
that for
and
himself.
He's a CSU student.
He is now. He's also been to CVCC. He's kind of
Really?
chopped. He kept changing his major.
But that's okay. Well,
Too, right?
we have
You
most
know,
kids do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I know some that's been there
Yeah.
for years and still don't have a
Yeah.
major. So I mean, that's normal.
Yeah.
That whatever normal
And he
is.
also went to the tech for a while too.
And driving
Yeah.
and took the standard
Yes.
driver's test.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
So he's driving today without
Yeah.
your supervision.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. And he's probably following all the rules.
Oh, very. Yes. Yes.
We're
the
going to
rules.
make a complete stop. We're not speeding, and that gives mom peace.
Well, I'm not sure about the speeding thing.
I'm sure he's
He
not
might take
speeding.
after mom a little bit,
Right, right, with that heavy foot. Yes. So for the parents that need assistance with the IEP, I know people, and I've referred you, and I was actually in Washington, D.C., and pulled out my phone and went to your Facebook page and shared it to a Boeing executive that lives in California.
Oh.
And so I was like, look, this person is the person because she's walked the walk. She's lived it. She knows the laws. And I don't know what they are in California, but she knows the ones in Georgia, and they're probably similar. So you are still working with families on that.
Yes, ma'am. Always.
Always.
I love it.
You love
I love
it. Right.
I love what I do.
And so how do you connect with them? They just reach out to you? Because I know you volunteer a lot in the schools, and because you have children in the public school.
So a lot of people find me through the Hope Center.
Right.
But I have a lot of word of mouth business. I've never had to advertise, so people tell other people, and they call me. I give out my cell phone to anybody and everybody who wants it.
Yeah.
And
I gave it to somebody at Shogun one day at lunch. No, really, I did, from Harris County.
And that's fine. I tell people, don't hesitate to call or text me. I don't want anybody to go through this process alone like I did.
Right.
It was scary.
Right.
It was frustrating. I was worried for my son's future. I don't want anybody.
That's
to know
bad
that
for a
pain.
mother.
It
You know,
is.
when your children, you're sending them out in the world and you're not sure if people are going to really, because I keep seeing on social media, and sometimes I tag you all, where there's a child or a young person on the spectrum, and then they have a public incident and they're treated very poorly.
Yes.
Not because people intend to, they're just ignorant to the facts. You know, and we have to educate the public better. Not just in the school system, but our public safety, in hospitals. You know, people need to know anyone that's working in the public.
That's
So
why
don't have
we did the first responder training earlier this year.
Okay, so you've done this first responder
and we would
training.
like to do more. It's just kind of expensive, so we have to raise money to do it. But it really is so needed here, because if you know, particularly as they get to be teenagers, if there's some kind of meltdown or some sort of situation, the police get called. If that officer doesn't understand what's going on, the first thing they do is grab them, which is the first thing that's going to go wrong, and then next thing they're in jail, and it's really hard to...
And that's not the place for them.
It's not the place, but also parents have to get an attorney, or you've got to rely on
public defender. And a lot of them don't
They
have
don't
a clue
understand.
either.
Right.
Now, that's not to put them down, but it's out of their wheelhouse.
And they've had no training. And so we really hope to be able to expand that to more individuals that are first responders, but also some of the lawyers and judges here.
In the criminal justice system. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what we're going to do is go to our final break to our sponsors. We'll be right back. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Warrior Outreach. Contact Command Sergeant Major Retired Sam Rhodes or Kathy Rhodes. The Hugel Foundation, enriching the community through Christian music support, community outreach, and the Georgia Through Photography Project. For more information, call B at 706-568-6431. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. East Alabama Endocrinology, educating and caring for those living with diabetes in Alabama and Georgia. 1400 Bradley Lake Boulevard, 3320 Skyway Drive, Suite 602, Opelika. Take charge of diabetes and live your best life. State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front line for veterans every day.
Walmart's reason for supporting Thurgood Marshall College Fund is simple. We like to win. And we have been given a lot of exposure to some incredible talent. And we also believe that it's a part of our responsibility to the community to give back. This is a great opportunity to do both. It's been a wonderful experience for us through the years. We've appreciated our partnership. We believe in return on investment, and we have definitely had a remarkable return.
Welcome back to Straightforward. I'm continuing the great conversation with the best autism advocates in the nation. And we can proudly say they are here in Columbus, Georgia. I wanted to go back, Diane and Marianne, to the training of the first responders. It is costly because you are having to bring the subject matter experts or trainers from out of town, is what you were saying.
Right.
Right, and we need to figure out a way, because you're already raising money to provide services for families for free.
Right.
You're bored, you have volunteer people, no one's making no 6-7 digit salary. This is all blood, sweat, tears, and love.
Right.
Right. So in case someone want to assist you, if there are some grants, I'm not really sure if the U.S. Department of Education or U.S. Health and Human Resources, maybe some great grant writer that's watching could help with finding some type of funding for those first responders.
We would love to find a grant writer.
So if we had a grant writer, that was good, because the man in the question mark suit, he's just selling books. Doesn't work that way. It's very competitive.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if someone just decided they wanted to give you a check for $10,000, would that be something that?
Oh, absolutely.
Where you would be able to bring in some more
Yes,
first responders.
absolutely.
Right. Well, I just think we need to start a campaign with that. Because we do have some good corporate citizens, and we have a lot of fast food restaurants in this town. And my philosophy as an old social worker is, you have not because you ask not. So what are they going to do, say yes or no?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we could just get enough of those, and I do have one person in mind, and he owns a lot of restaurants, and he does a lot already in the community. But even if he could just sponsor just one training,
that would be wonderful.
Then that would be great, and we could do it for less than $10,000.
Right.
And
the thing I think is important for people to realize, it has to be someone that is an ex-police officer, preferably, because otherwise the officers in training don't feel like they're getting good advice.
Exactly.
So
because the person never walked in the shoes.
That's right. Right. So you're asking us to do this, but you've never done it yourself.
Exactly. That's why you need those subject matter experts to come in from out of town. But in terms of people that can help us figure out a way to pay for it, we have enough good business and corporate citizens that if we could get enough people to give $1,000.
Right.
If we can get 10 groups to give $1,000, then we would really be able to make
that would be wonderful, because we would love to have an ongoing training, so that we, if someone couldn't make it this month, that they could do it next month or for the next one.
And then that's saving lives.
Yes, absolutely.
It is, because I see that stuff on social media, and I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I'm almost in a panic.
Right.
Which we don't have that with our grandchildren, but it could be with our great-grands. We don't know. No one knows.
Right.
Because it's not discriminatory. It's all races, all social classes.
Right.
So, and I saw that because you had a doctor at one of the events that had a child that was on the spectrum. And then we have people, that are single parents with children on the spectrum. Yes. Right. So when a parent needs someone to go with them to an IEP meeting, what does that look like?
People just call me. And we.
So normally, who's in an IEP, and what is an IEP? Let's for the people that might be their first time.
An IEP is an individualized education program, and it's for special education.
Okay.
And you have to have one of 13 qualifying conditions to qualify, and require specialized instruction because of that disability.
Right.
But the people that are required by law to be in an IEP meeting is a special education teacher, a general education teacher, the parents, someone who can interpret the evaluation, so generally a school psychologist, and then somebody who's referred to as a LEA, which is local education agency. So someone who represents the district, someone who has the authority to allocate resources on their behalf.
Okay.
So
you know who's supposed to be at the table.
Oh, yes.
No, and that's useful information because a lot of parents really are good, hardworking parents. They just don't know where to start.
Right.
It's really so far, out there for them. But again, as a parent, you master the information, you research, you taught yourself, so you know who should be there.
Yes.
And so you are a quick study. We would call you the Cliff Notes. When we were in college, people read the Cliff Notes instead of reading the book. Well, Marianne is the Cliff Notes. No, really. And so that helps take some of the anxiety from the parents. Because I know parents that are not excited about going to a meeting at the school.
No, it's scary.
Yes.
It's intimidating. And so having an advocate with you really does take that edge off, because I can tell you exactly what to expect. You may have only been to 2 or 3 with your child throughout their life. I've been to hundreds at this point. So I know almost to a T what they're going to say.
And the questions, the hard questions
Yes,
to
ma'am.
ask. Because I saw something you put out about dyslexia, and I was like, okay, see, if I want to know, I can just go follow Marianne, because, I've really been busy, so I haven't just really been able to, touch base. But I can always watch what you're posting, and that helps to keep me updated. But then that's the same thing that you can do for those parents that deal with those issues.
Absolutely.
Because those are resources, should be in our school system to support our students, because that is a requirement by law, that all children are entitled to what?
A free and appropriate public education.
I love it when she says that. I do. So how many families, what is your age group you're working with now? What's your youngest and what's your oldest, before we run out of time, and where they can find you all?
Okay, we can be found on Facebook,
Okay.
Facebook/Autism Hope Center, or autismhopecenter.com on the internet. We cover all ages. If they're young enough to look like they have autism, even if they don't have a diagnosis, that they come to us to try and find someone to do it. And I don't know how old. I had a woman that was 55 that called me a few weeks ago,
Really?
needing a diagnosis for
Really?
herself. Yes.
So you all are the people's advocate.
Yeah.
That's what I love about you all, and I'm serious. As we were talking, there is one person that volunteers a lot and gives a lot, from everything from students to veterans to homeless, just always out there. So that's one person I'm going to start with, to see if they can just jump on board and support what you're trying to do, not just for our children, even with training our first responders.
That would be wonderful.
Stay in there, hang in there, and one day we're going to get this big trust fund, and we're just going to give you all the money you need.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming.
Thanks, Gloria.
All right.
Thank you.
This has been Straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.